For every hour you watched porn throughout your lifespan you get $5. How rich would you be? Realistically, you're looking at 1-2 hours a week if you're cranking one out a day. That's $10 a week. At 52 weeks in a year we'll round it to an even $500 per year to account for lazy weeks or quick nuts. The average demographic on Reddit is probably somewhere in their early 30s. If you started cranking it at 14, that would be roughly 20 years. So about $10,000 richer. That's enough for a used car after 20 years of desensitizing work and probably plenty of ruined relationships. Hope it was worth it. Twice a day every day since middle school, 13 years now, 28 4x a day for every day in November ever since the internet challenge. I try to break it harder each year. Each session takes a minimum of half an hour to an hour. 326 230 November 4th x 10 15 8 15 years twice a day for leap years. I think I did my math right? If so, then provided I spend a minimum of 1 hour per session it should be about $58,500 minimum. The question is ambiguous. Do you have to watch an uninterrupted hour to earn the $5? If so, probably under $200. Now if it all adds up then divide by 60 minutes for total hours. In that sense still probably not even enough to pay off my student loans. Which would have been paid by Biden's plan. I watch porn daily for work. I've written hundreds of porn video descriptions over the last few years, having watched each video all the way through. And that's not even counting all the porn I've watched, non-professionally, so yeah, I'm retiring on this question. Guys, you didn't have to wank to watch porn. This means you can watch porn all day. While you're cooking or eating or showering or doing anything, just keep watching porn. You could make like $70 a day if you had porn on all the time, which is better than minimum wage. Comes in 10 seconds. Cries in poverty. No, for real, I just made singer back of the napkin calculations and I think I'd make between 5 and 8K a year. Not great, but a nice top off onto my normal pay. Gonna have to pump those numbers. Especially at work. On average I probably watch an hour a day. Started let's say 16 years ago. 16 years 10 365, 5840 days, 4 extra days for the leap years, 5,844. So 1 hour each day would be 5,844 hours, x 5. $29,220 give or take. It sounds like only video counts, so maybe altogether throughout my life like $20. There's nothing animated for the kind of stuff I'm into. And when it comes to Earl porn mostly it makes me uncomfortable. If there needs to be a video that I'm actively watching I don't think I'd break into the thousands. Watching an hour of porn is not something I regularly do, it's less than 10 minutes, usually less than 5. Not too rich. By the time internet porn got big, I started dating and that sorta took over any need I ever would have from watching porn. Sure, I had a couple of dry spells but now I'm married, so yay! As part of a BDSM relationship, for the last couple of years I was tasked to watch porn between 2 and 12 hours a day, depending on the periods. So, quite a nice bank account bump. Just watch porn on a second monitor while you're doing literally anything else. Always be watching porn and have a job from home and you can make a pretty comfortable living. Talking actually watched, or searched for? If we're talking watched, not that much. If we're talking searched for, I'd have to be one of the richest men alive. I'd be getting paid in lots of 50-cent increments for the 5 minutes I watched at a time. If it took me an hour to handle my business I wouldn't ever feel like doing it. Hey guys, I just bought the ISS after looking at a Reddit post and earning billions of dollars and I still have more to share around. Anyone coming along? $0. No, seriously. I don't watch porn. For reals. Never masturbated, that's gross. I get sex all the time so I don't have to. I make the good sex more realistic and less exciting. For every hour you watched P0R and you wasted an hour of your life watching P0R. How many hours have you wasted? Not rich at all. Even if I watched porn for every single hour of my existence since the age I started masturbating, I'd only have about $800,000. I'll make those trillionaire royal boys in Saudi Arabia look like they're homeless on the streets of New York City. That's all I'ma tell you. I will suddenly be gifted 15,000 euros, but that's not going to make me rich, and if you have more than me, seek help. Jesus Christ, you need it. I could probably retire. Too many nights of just edging myself over and over when I was younger and had way too much free time. What even counts as porn? Like, does the story before the actual porn starts count? I like plot in my porn, sue me. Not excessive but for enough to people to ask other people how are they that wealthy. I wonder what they do. Type of wealthy. $21,840. an hour a day, 7 days a week for about 12 years, so 7 by 52 by 12 4,368 at $5 a pop x 5 multiplier kicks in $21,840 for every hour of porn watched? Let's see, I'm 30 now, so about 18-19 years of porn. About $5 richer. Maybe 5.5. I could buy Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, send them both into the sun, and still have enough money to solve world hunger. I'll finally be able to afford a modern house tucked away in a forest on a cliff overlooking the sea, that's for sure. Gonna be honest. Not too much. But if we counted hours spent reading fanfics also, I might be able to buy a high-end PC. Do I get a minimum of $5 even if it's not a whole hour? Because I would like that $5 TBH, I think I've earned it. Porn causes many harmful effects to a person. If you're watching a lot you need help. Plus $5 a hour? Off as a kid, perhaps a new car. Would be more, but I use late night Cinemax and nude scenes from rated R movies pre-Wi-Fi. Are we only counting actual time watching porn? Or do we also count searching for that right porn that day? Probably not even $5, I never liked it. Embarrassed smiley face. I'd get like 30 cents from whenever I thought I'd check it out. Assuming 15 minutes of porn a day for a decade, that's under 5K. Not a non-significant but not too much either. Geez, $10 a day 365 days a year, $3,650 in a year, 7 years of porn, $25,550. Well, I can buy a small house. I'm not great at math, but 30 years of at least 4 hours a week. I would have at least 350. Does scrolling and watching thumbnails to find the perfect video count? BC, if so call me Bill Gates. Not very rich, smiley face, I can't get into it. I do enjoy humorous stuff for laughs, but I can't take it seriously. I mean, at 5 minutes a time 3 days a week, that would be about $5 a month that could be used for tissues. I spend a lot more time amassing a huge amount of open tabs than I do actually watching anything. Lamau. Can't be bothered with piecework. 10 minutes at a time. Some days I could make $20. But I get raw. You could make it a full-time job 8 hours a day and not even crack $10,000 a year. That's utter poverty. Nothing to write home about. My quick and dirty calculation only comes to $120,450. So far, we're going to have to put a picture of me next to phrase an embarrassment of riches. Broke. Never seen it. Truth. Life is too rewarding and challenging to add an addiction like that. I'm in my 50s. I figure $4,825 for 37 years of beating off. 20 of that with internet porn. Even if you watched it 40 hours a week, that's only $200 a week. Nobody is getting rich off $5 hour. For the thousands of times I've watched porn to jerk it to, I'd have earned myself $1, cash, no checks and none of this annuity bullshit like the lottery. That's how they fuck ya. I will get $0. $5 hour is a very low salary. Sure, it's easy, but it just doesn't pay enough. I'm not saying I'd be Oprah rich, but my backyard would definitely have an alpaca paddock. So it's linked to watch time? So I just get 2 or 3 4K monitors and watch 12 or so at once? I'd have an extra $5,530. So I'd be £4,313 and 40 pence richer. Not as much as I'd thought. Instead of using tissues or a cum cock to clean up afterwards, I will just use $100 bills. But it's not more than $50. If we're including images then it's around 100. I'd probably have like 30 or 40 bucks. Enough for an okay dinner at an okay restaurant. Shit. How do PPL watch an hour? I make it to whenever it goes in first and I'm done. 1.116.855. Am not ashamed, am proud. Edit, I prefer Rule 34. It's radically limitless. $0 for watching, but if reading it on AO3 counts, I'd have a nice little nest egg. Lol. I think if they will give for searching the best one, it might give me much more. Smiley face, smiley face. I'd be pretty disappointed that I never let a video finish, I'll yell you that much. Musk, go take this card, bring me some coffee and go buy something for yourself too. If I watched porn for 10 hours, every day, for 80 years, I'd only have $1,461,000. Surprisingly, probably $5 richer. If even. Hot take. But porn is a bit disgusting. If only real life porn counts, then maybe I would get the $5. I'm a hentai enjoyer. I made a lot of money from the 12-17 range. Nowadays I have a very willing wife. Geez, My ex would be a millionaire and I could have asked for spousal support. Even America couldn't print out enough money for the amount I would be paid. I have been single for the past 5, probably enough to retire soon. Let's say I watched an hour a day since I was 16. I am 57. It's like 80 grand. Not very, I don't watch much porn, but when I do it's 5 minutes at a time. Smiley face. The world economy would collapse as the value of the dollar approaches zero. I think I might be looking at buying a small island in the Bahamas for cash. I'd have about $1 for the sex scenes I had to sit through in some movies. Person shrugging. Probably couldn't retire, but I'm pretty sure I could pay off my mortgage. Watching more porn after I'm done is like cuddling with a one-night stand. Does it have to be consecutive? Or can I add up in 5-minute increments? Probably not much. Never been into watching it outside of a recent night. The winner out of Mark and Dion would be fighting me for the championship. $5 hour isn't enough for anyone to be rich. That being said, I could retire. Definitely under $5. I'm one of these people who has no interest in porn. I'd make random spurts of $500 out of nowhere every month or so. Does watching the fuzzy Cinemax movies late at night in the 90s count? Oprah rich, you get a house, everybody gets a house. Hello, my name is Elon Musk and made money by watching porn on the hub. It's around $5 every 2 days for 6 years, I would have around $6,000. I could end world hunger. There would be enough housing for everyone. How many hours is a million times 2 minutes and 37 seconds? Times $5. I happen to not hate my penis, it only have 500k sitting in the bank. At $5 an hour? Probably not up to used car numbers. Maybe a nice bike,